Alright, we're back with another tutorial, and in this one, I'm going to do the same as my last video, except we're going to be in Illustrator this time. So I'm going to start with opening a new file. Sizing doesn't matter here. Just make sure these are all normal, raster effect 72. I'm just going to make this 50 by 50 for now, and we're going to open up a new doc. Okay. I already had my image of the side copied. So this can come in here. And because we're in Illustrator, my bounds are actually going to be smaller than the width of what I need. So I'm going to design this at 10 scale. So this is my template that I'm going to be using for the design. And then I have another image that I'm going to be using that has the sizes on it. If you watch my previous video, it has this explained. So from here, I have 230 visual. So what I'll do is I'll design this at 10 scale, which means I can make this artboard 23 inches wide. And then from there, I'll know that I have 230 when I go to scale it up for print. So from this point, I would do my document setup, edit artboards, and I'm going to change my width to 23. And my height, I have 22 inches, so that would be 2.2 inches high. And yes, it does look very small, and that's because it is, especially compared to the document, but this is at 10 scale. So because of that, what I'm going to be able to do here is move this down. I'm going to shrink it. I'll leave that one big so that I can see it easily. And there's my visual size. And by visual, I mean from point A to point B. So from here, I really don't need this anymore. We'll just keep that there for safekeeping. But now I see on my document, my bounding black box there, that I have a way to scale my design. Maybe give it a rotation a little bit. And so I knew from up here that my height was 22, my width was 230 visual. Again, 250 is the actual measurement. So if I want to, I can make a box that is 250 just so I know exactly how much I need. And remember, we're at 10 scale, so it'll be 25 by 2.2. So I'll do that. I'll make this pink just so I can see it up against the blue. And I will center it, center, center. So horizontal line, align center, vertical align center. And now I have my extended bounding box. From here, I will typically lock this layer, make a new layer, and now I'm ready to do the same thing that I always do in Photoshop, except we're going to do it on Illustrator. So the pen tool works the same way as your polygon lasso tool, except with this one you can use curves. You could use your pen tool in Photoshop. I just find making straight lines for a crop is a lot easier than playing around with all the curves, and it's not meant to be a shape that you're keeping to print. It's made to be a shape that's just used as a bounding box. So for this, I just like to do this, finish this up. I didn't like that one. That'll go there. So now that I have that, I'm going to make this green just so that it's also easy to see. What we're going to do is use a clipping mask to make sure that this design fits cleanly on here. So in Photoshop, I know already I have my design. What I would recommend is you design this in Illustrator or in Photoshop and you know exactly what you're going to be doing. So for this, I'm going to take my design and I'm going to drag it into Illustrator, if it lets me. Yep. Let's hope that it drags. It's loading. There it goes. So this was at size. But just for the sake of this, we are going to change that. And if you are designing in Illustrator and you are designing at 10 scale, what I'm highly going to recommend is that you definitely want to design in vector. And what I mean by that is use the tools that Illustrator gives you to design. So be able to use the pen tool, be able to use your rectangle tools, because if you're designing in vector, you're definitely going to end up with a more crisp result than if you were to start throwing pictures into Illustrator at 10 scale and then try and blow them up. If you have comments about that, please leave them in the description, in the comment section. I'll be able to explain resolution. That is a topic right now that's I've been beating my head into the wall about, because I've realized I've struggled with resolution questions in school and even after school at work. It's something that people don't realize, um, people don't know, and it's crazy how you could think that everything's absolutely going to fit properly and scale up, and you go to print and you have something completely blurry and you didn't even know why, because on the computer it looked perfect. So for this, I basically took my design, whether that's in Photoshop, whether that's in Illustrator, and you bring it into Illustrator. This is only if you're in Illustrator. I do a right click, arrange, send to back, and now I'm going to click both of them together. So you see that this one's selected and this one's selected. And then I can right click again and hit make clipping mask. And now I'm good. So now you're wondering how you want to print, because now if you wanted to send this to a client, or now you just know how your design's going to look, fantastic. So I'm going to make another layer just to be safe. And I'm going to lock this so that I don't have any worry behind it. So as I said before, I got 230, 250 real, and 22 high. With that, I'm going to want to print this more than the exact length and the exact height. So because of that, again, we're at 10 scale. I know that 250 is the actual, so we're going to go up to 260 just to be sure. That gives me 5 inches here and 5 inches here, and even a little bit more. And on the height, we're going to go to 26 and a half. This obviously needs to be changed to 26 because we are at 10 scale once again. So with that, I have that. I'm going to make it green so that we can see it again. I'm going to center. And now you're wondering, how do we get this design off? And the way that I like to do it is I'm going to double check that this is centered. And I'm going to call this my print layer. I'm going to call this my design layer. And I'm going to call this my template layer. I should have done that at the beginning, but that's the best way that I've come to set it up if I'm layering in Illustrator. Typically, I'm kind of sloppy. I don't really do it just because I'm keeping my processes so quick. But if you want to have a clean file, I would suggest that this is the same way that you do it every time. I'm going to come into my clipping mask here. I got to unlock this layer. See that it's selected now. I'm going to come into it. By doing that, I double click, and now I have that design from behind the clipping mask. If I change it and I leave it, it clips just like that. What I want to do is come in here, and if this is where I had it originally, I can come in, take it, Control C. I'm going to click my new layer, my print layer. Control F is place in place. I forget what it's actually called, but it's basically a duplicate copy and paste option. And now you see I'm going to make another clipping mask. So in doing this, I can take this and I can take this, and I will make clipping mask. From here, you have a multitude of options for print. So I can take this guy, I can open up a new file, I'll call this boat print, and I can make it 5.3 wide because it's 53 wide, and I can make it 26 long, which is high, but it makes it easier to send it to the printer. This should come in exactly as you need it. There you go. So I'm going to do this, which is a left, I call it left align. It's a horizontal align left, and center. I take this, duplicate it again, reflect it, right click, transform, reflect. And again, as I said in my previous video, I like my darker colors to be up against the lighter colors. From that, I will center a line. And as you can see, everything fits neatly and accordingly. So from here, my file is only 5.3 wide by 26 tall. That is how it will print right now. So there's two options. I can either take this file, bring it down into Photoshop, and then send it from Photoshop to my printer, or I can inform my printer, or if I'm the one doing the printing, that when he puts it into the rip, say, hey, and even write it in the file, this file is at 10 scale. Make sure that you size it up correctly because it needs to be 53 inches by 260 inches. That is the full print size. That's also where resolution comes in. If you bring it into Photoshop at this size, you need to make sure that your resolution, let's just do it, just to do it. If I'm going to open this new file, Photoshop is not liking me right now. If I'm going to open this new file, I'll just show you a quick trick. So if I know I want to open this file exactly as it is in Illustrator and let it scale up by changing the file, you'll see what I mean here by that in a second, is I'm going to make this 5.3 as well. And I'm also going to make this 26. Now, at 72 resolution, that's going to be really, really blurry. So I want to do 5.6, 5.3, which is 53 wide, because we're going to print on 54-inch film. I didn't specify that before, by 26 high. But here's the catch. If I'm at 53 wide by 260 tall at 72 resolution, this means that. If I wanted to make 72 resolution be my full print on the printer, and I want it to print at 53 by 260, I need this file here at 5.3 by 26 to be at 720 resolution. It's not going to back up your computer. It's not going to give you a problem. I know that resolution seems really high because it is, but when you scale it, it will make sense. There you go. Do that. Come back into Illustrator. Make sure I got all my objects. Copy it. Paste it. Might take a little second. There it goes. Sorry about that. So there. Now, it didn't scale, and I'll explain why. I have these all in clipping masks. So this needs to change, which is the point of cleaning up a file. So that was using Control Y and being able to crop your image. And you're going to want to crop right to your edges. And you're going to want to do this for anything that's raster or anything that has imagery. You're going to want to crop all your images. And now that I have these cropped, it'll make more sense in Photoshop. Let that correct. Okay. Alright, it's being a little slow. There it goes. Copy it again. And paste, and we should be good. Let's see if it does. would be nice if it would paste. My computer is not liking that. Okay, there it goes. I guess it has trouble when it attaches to your clipboard. If that happens to you, just give it a moment and let it sit. Don't start clicking around and making everything go crazy. I assume it's taking a long time because this image is a high quality image that was brought in at 300 dpi. I would imagine that's the reason why this is taking so long. There it is. Okay. Hit enter. And remember, your Illustrator document was also, I'm not sure why that came in like that. We're going to learn something here. So if this is 5326, and this is coming in at I'm not sure. But if it scales up, we should be fine. I guess the name of the game is make sure it scales up to the proper size, even if you have to type in here 5.3. And it should go to, yeah, to 26. Make sure that it's inside your canvas bounds. And from this point, if you needed to get it to scale up to your 53 inches wide, we go here, image size, and delete this 0. And there you go. It's sized now. 53 wide by the 260, like I said. You need to print it from here, you print it from here, you send it to your RIP. If you need to print it from Illustrator because you have a lot of vectors that you'd like to preserve, I would highly recommend that you send it as 10 scale to your RIP, and from there you shouldn't have any problems. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.